They have no idea. I a few times, I just I shouldn't do it, but see, I'm a kind of compulsive person, and I just like when I feel like, hey, I have something to say. I don't care if there's a people or not. At least there's at least one person sometimes can listen, and then I'm going and enjoying. Um, I'm going and enjoying conversation because my idea is to at least express what I feel about trading like a couple days ago, I went on online and I started talking about the gigs, and it took me a couple hours to finish, of course. But but the thing says that I talked to the crowd that actually watching my streaming for the gigs and the heat map, and the point was, hey guys, do you even understand what you're trading? Do you even understand that GEX levels itself doesn't really mean significant unless you understand what it is and you have a heat map. If you don't, then it's just like you're just wasting your money, because a priority is, and please, everybody can correct me because I'm not the source of the ultimate knowledge, right? Um, I'm learning along with everybody. But the GEX is useful, not useful if you don't have the order flow or heat map right in front of you. Oh, by the way, I don't share my screen yet. Okay, while it's probably going on a broadcast, let me check the broadcast. What do you guys think? Was it a appropriate message, or I was a little bit too off?
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
No, I mean the idea was like, hey, the if you trade the gigs but you don't have a order flow or a heat map, then it's a
Oh
waste
yeah,
of.
you can't trade it by itself. There's hardly any indicators that you can trade solo. I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Okay,
No,
so
I mean the idea was
looks
like,
like
hey,
it does works.
if you
Okay,
trade.
nice. I'm gonna put okay. Okay, yeah, exactly. So now it is exactly same p.m. tonight, and we're starting our usual live support. And the key for this live support, why I'm doing it, because I'm supporting people who buy the best order flow indicators, and there's some innovative kind of indicators, and not many people actually in the Ninja Trader community trade them. So my goal is to help people to achieve some kind of fluency with the indicators, how to use the heat map, how to use the big trades, how to use the smart trades, what's the difference between them, how to use the footprints, and things like that. Because the most of the tutorials that I watch myself on the YouTube is I'm absolutely pissed off. Some of them good, but what I feel that they don't have something that glued together as a system, more systematic way. That's why, for example, I build tutorial on the order flow part 1 and part 2. And the key in that tutorial about the order flow that nobody teach, it is about the cycle of the order flow, which is contains from the 4 phases of order flow, which help you to trade pullbacks, which help you to trade breakouts, or any kind of the practically setups that traders have in mind and love to trade, but they don't understand that there's only 3 or 4 setups at all out there. Rest of the things, the rest of the stepping in models to trade, they name by the I trade the FVG. Fuck, you don't trade the FVG. You don't understand. This is only one cofactors. Or I trade the imbalances. You trade the only one cofactor. Oh, I trade only breakouts. Do you understand even that breakouts can kill your account if there's a liquidity sitting right above? Do you understand that? So there's a high probability setups that we're going to talk today about. And my investment into this community, I try to add specific and unique tutorials, not because I'm crazy guy. On any language, on any subject, when I talk about, and I have other social networks where I'm really active, I'm talking only about this something very innovative. out of the age, and everybody is not ready to accept what the things it is, because many people use their brains from the past tutorial, from the like everybody is saying. There's so many gurus right now. There's so many champions on YouTube. When I look at the YouTube, do you guys see my screen? I need to share with my with everybody, right? I didn't share yet. Did I share it? No, I did. Oh, you're saying me? I didn't share it. Jeez, I already start talking. Okay. I need to. Where is my that little things from the Zoom? That sucker. I need to find that freaking sucker. Where is the panel that I can manage it with?
Is it in that bottom? Is it in the bottom?
Somewhere. It's supposed to be somewhere.
Bottom share, maybe?
Jeez, I can't find that. But I'm sure.
Yeah.
So like
The
this
fourth
one.
thing over, I think. Click on share, I think.
But I don't even see that freaking panel. Jeez.
It shouldn't be on the screen unless you got one screen hiding it.
Yeah, it's hidden behind some kind of the screens. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
At the bottom, you should have 5 icons. You know, chat, the chat window.
Yeah.
And the share button.
I don't even see that freaking window. That's the funny part. Did I start it?
Right?
Did I start at YouTube? Yeah, I think I joined it, right? Huh?
You said you started it.
So you guys can hear me, and I don't even understand what I'm doing. Just a second, guys. I will find it. I will share, because I want to share with you guys. The by the way, the point what I'm making is, do you guys understand how unique some stuff that you guys learning from me, that other people who teach you order flow, they may be good, right? And maybe, but most of the things that what they teach you is something that is convenient. Jeez, I need to find this freaking fucking panel. Where is that panel? Okay, Zoom is there. Where is this Zoom? Zoom. I don't see this freaking panel. So I need to rejoin, or what I do? Ugh.
Well, you're in Zoom because I can see you through Zoom.
Yeah.
So your buttons should all be at the bottom.
Do you want to restart the call? You want to get out and see if it's open your main screen?
It's open at somewhere, which I don't know where it opens. It's hiding from me. You know, sometimes they actually implemented.
If you click on the very bottom of your screen, you don't get the icons down there.
No, look. No, look.
The white line.
Yeah. I click on that and Zoom. Oh, okay. Maybe this is the Zoom. Oh, that is the Zoom. Oh yeah. Cheers. Sorry for these guys. See, forgive me. I'm a baby boomer. Stupid baby boomer. Okay. But okay, I'm gonna share it. Okay. But now I'm deadly serious, guys, today, because last time I've made a presentation about the heat map, and I think that I spell it too much information, by the way. Like, it was so much packed, it was so much jam with information, that today I would like to ask you guys, what do you think about that? And yeah, we're gonna go with you over some slides, but my idea today, select a few scenarios that that is actually a high probability trades. That is my goal today, because I think that when I shared with you guys this bunch of the slides, many people don't even comprehend how valuable, of course I'm talking about me, no, tutorials, okay? And I collected over the years by trading the heat maps, okay? Guys, don't forget that I'm smiling when I'm talking. I'm not really serious. Although I am a narcissistic idiot as well, maybe. Okay, but look what I'm teaching you guys, what the slides I'm sharing with you, because some of that is a really can make a huge difference. Now let me see if there's some people there on the YouTube. Do you guys join me on the YouTube? Are you guys there? At least write something, some comments. Let me see, where is this? Okay, this is it. Yeah, there's like a 3 people watching. So hello guys, say something, write something over there, and there is a link. By the way, is that link I can paste it to you? I can, maybe. So you can join the Zoom, and the key with the Zoom, you can ask the question with your mic, any absolutely questions. So yeah, I'm gonna go. This is my goal today, to go with the like tutorial number 2 about the heat maps. I'm briefly gonna cover very briefly what we covered last time, okay? But we're gonna select and focus and zoom into the some of the what makes huge difference, because out of the all information that I shared with you last time, maybe there is a few particular scenarios for trading needs more attention. Okay, so we're gonna do that. But the first, what I'm doing usually, so what I do usually when we start, guys, I'm asking everybody questions. Hi, hello everybody, Jeffrey, Keith, Peters, and Christian Van, I don't see the full name, and the other people who are there, James, and so on. Now, hello everybody. I really enjoy that you guys over here, because we're learning from each other, and I learn from you guys as well. And at the same time, my question is: are there anybody over here who interested? Number one issue I always wanna be on, it is support for the bestorderflow.com indicators, whatever you need about indicators, how to tune it, how to change it, or something doesn't work, something work, or whatever you notice, or whatever, guys. Or maybe some people have a question about that, they never use it, and so somebody want to jump in and buy it, but like, hey, should I spend my money? And I tell you, our indicator is not for everyone. Straight out of the bat, okay? If somebody is struggling and taking money out of your kids and family, please spend your money on the kids and family. So it's going to be more beneficial, because trading is the journey, and it takes time, okay? And I don't want to be anybody delusional. Unless you're highly committed, that is a very different phase of the commitment than just like, hey, I'm trying to trade between the job. There's a few people who actually tried my indicators trading in a lunchtime. Guys, I know the prediction what's going to be, okay? So, but there's some smart people who are actually PhDs trying to do that. And I noticed the results. Now, okay, now let's switch again to any questions, guys. I am here to listen you. So I'm shutting up and I'm listening each and every one of you. Any questions, anything you want to raise, whatever, we can tackle it now, or I can schedule it like in our conversation to put it as a secondary, or, maybe attack it at the, not attack, but talk about that at the very end or beginning or in the middle of my presentation. Okay, let's go, guys.
I don't have anything,
Only
so it's
thing-
all up to them.
The only thing I want to kind of just bring up is probably this is in regards to the heat map. And currently, I know we don't have like the new heat map, but it's just really more of the functionalities, because I utilize the heat map. I would say a lot with like some of my trade setups, and I just wanted to kind of find out different ways we can kind of tune the heat map to get more meaningful levels.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good question. Levels. Okay. So nice. Fantastic. This is really, okay. Here we go. This is a new session. And why I'm saying, because I didn't record it. Do you guys have any one of you best order flow heat maps for the like today or yesterday? I don't know, for whatever the day, maybe for today. If you recorded that, then I can import the data and start talking with you about tuning it, because I need the examples. But at the same time, guys, I can actually use the new indicator, but you will get the catch because there's some main or key, things that we need to like. How do we come up with a picture that meaningful, right? And there's only 3 parameters you basically needs to know, and they're on the same on the new and on the old. Okay, on the old version. So it's going to be the same. But I have the data. That the point is, I do have the data for today, or even for Friday on some of my charts. Okay, so here we go. Okay, by the way, this is right in front of. So, any other questions? By the way, guys, anybody want to raise the other question? Because I wrote this question on the paper. I remember that. We're gonna tackle it. So, anybody else? So, this is not this. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions, please? Let me write it down so we can do some good work. Anybody? I know there's a one person out here who wanted to ask a question. Are there any indicators that actually not really kind of like compatible with the best order flow? Is that person over here?
Yes, but it was not that question, Oleg. What I wanted to ask you was, no, it was not that. It was just for making sure that BOF indicators were performing really good. So what we should consider not to include, for example, indicators that will take a lot of CPU or something like that. Just was that, okay? Because you mentioned that you don't talk about others indicators. I was not trying to talk about the other indicators, just to understand how can I get the best performance of BOF, right?
Okay, that's a good question as well. Okay, that's a really short question. Let me go on the. Let you guys see my task manager. Where is this? Okay. Now look at this. You see that there is a 75% memory. Is that a good scenario for you, Ninja? Yeah. Do you see, guys?
No.
No.
I don't know. Maybe no, right? It's too much.
Do you see that task manager?
Yes.
Do you see my task manager? That's what I'm talking. Yeah, 76% right in the top, 75, 76. Do you see that number?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you running the Ninja, and right now I'm running what? Streaming, I'm running Zoom, and another 5 charts with the Ninja, and another GPU software, blah, blah, blah. I do have a lot running, right? Like you see on the left side.
Okay.
Now, is 75% good for my memory, for my RAM? Very close to start jamming. You need to have no more than 80% for your RAM when you're running. That's number one. Because I'm already like at the very brink, okay? At the very edge. Even that 75 is not good idea. So you need to have enough RAM. And by the way, instead of using the 4 sticks of RAM, you need to use 2. They are faster than 4 sticks. Okay? They really get crazy in price recently. But anyway, just remember 2 operates faster sticks, like 2x16 or 2x32 or 2x64, whatever. Better than 4 in terms of the frequency, but in terms of the amount of the RAM, of course, it's going to add you more capacity, okay? Now, because the frequency is not the same as the capacity. So I wanted to increase capacity, and I ordered it just a couple of days ago, RAM, and they couldn't even send it to me. They delay, so I canceled it because I figure out I'm gonna buy, instead of like 2 additional 16 to make an additional 32. I'm gonna buy 2 by 32, and I'm gonna sell this RAM that I have now on a Facebook or something. Okay, so instead of having 4 slots used, it's better to use 2 slots. This way you can maximize the frequency. Okay, because by default it looks like the memory run less than, let's say you buy 6,000, but it's gonna run 4,800 if you don't mingle and fix that, okay? By default, many people don't know about that like me, okay? So now 75% is very up to the edge. So you need to run less than 80%, and it's probably better to run at least at 50% of your RAM. Now, second, the frequency on the CPU is number one key. Third, it is how many core you have. The more core you have, the better. Okay, because each page means that opens new chart opens on the new thread, and instead of using the tabs, avoid using the tabs. Okay, because tabs will jump the same thread, and all calculations and data will be on the same thread. So you want to spread it across your CPU, cores. Okay, and that's the key. Now, regarding the indicator itself, I'm gonna put some crap on TDU. I'm not ashamed about that. Why? Because they have the footprint, and go ahead, guys. You can use the Ninja. They have the what's the option out there? You can see how much is taken by the certain indicator. Now, the TDU footprint is the most demanding. The model that they use, they decided the more options we'll put in their footprint, the more it's gonna be sold, because there's you cover everything under the sun, and with the footprint options. And there is some like unbelievable options out there that, if you think about it, how often do you use them? You're like, dude, in reality, you choose maybe 3-4 your favorite options, and then you use them, okay? Instead of like using gazillion of options. But that software is very heavy. I'm not even touching on the skills of the person who actually put this together, how optimized it is. I'm not even talking about that, because it's optimized in a regular Ninja Threader way. So it's slow by default. But then when you have like so many options, so many features, and it's like killing you. So our heat map, what you're seeing right behind on the screen, runs faster many times than their footprint. So you want to kill this heat map, put their footprint, okay? So now this is simply technical, and many people using the TDU footprint because they got it on some kind of like a garbage can, whatever, the junkyard, okay? Those that, somebody like broke that or whatever, the hackers, and they just sharing it, and people using it. The serious traders never use the software from any hackers, by many different reasons. But those who don't understand that, maybe you graduated from being newbie, now being serious, you're now more professional, you need to be very careful about that. So the TDU, definitely, they're indicators. I don't even actually, by the way, why don't you guys, instead of asking me, you can get the questions on the snap with the free indicator that is on the menu, free on the best order flow. It's called a deposit killer, right? So measure with the deposit killer by closing every freaking chart. Okay, guys, you're seeing, guys, you guys, somebody want to piss me off because somebody forget to turn off their mic, right? Please don't, okay? Now, what I was talking about.
About the resources use of the footprint. And what you mentioned is about the deposit killer.
Oh, yeah, you can close every chart, close every other workspace, open brand new chart, and add only one indicator that you're curious about. And then with the deposit killer, you can see what resources it takes. Will it delay or not? If you do it at the New York Open, boom, you're gonna see that, okay? If you don't want to open it on a New York Open, you're using the manual to add artificial load according to our manual. And then don't change anything, just to keep that artificial loading, and then you add that indicator to see if it's actually dragging you or not. Because frequency is number one, okay? Not frequency, the FPS, it is the frame per second, okay? If your CPU is able to bring the data on the chart, and will it drag it or not? And you can do it one by one with every indicator and just to jog it down your numbers. And then when you add everything on you, under the sun on your charts, you're like, oh, I know that I need to take this and that and this out, and you will see immediately on the deposit killer that it will help you perform your CPU and render you charts in front of you, okay? That one single chart. You will see it yourself. That's very simple. That's why we created the deposit killer. We're gonna make a new version, but anyway, this one works perfectly, okay? So if you know how to use it, that you're gonna get answers yourself. Now, yes, sir?
No, I said that I tried it, and it's a really, really good tool. For that, I didn't try with the footprint. I have the footprint from TDU.
No.
But I'm not using it because, precisely, it's consuming a lot of resources. Yeah.
Now, the TDU is my competitor, and he's a really nice guy. I totally, his personality, he's the sweetest guy on the planet, okay? The owner of that. But in my opinion, let me put some more crap on him, okay? From a professional perspective, he trades what live trading he does. He doesn't do live trading, but he explaining what the waves, how you call those waves? Elliott waves. Trading Elliott waves, guys, it's not the order flow. There is no order flow. That's what the guy is trading. It's complete. For me, it's like, guys, it's a joke, as joke can be. So our ways of trading very different between his personality and mine, because my mission is the order flow indicators from the very get-go. Okay, that's the direction we're working. But he is selling everything under the sun, and he's successful, guys. He is really successful. He is incredible guy. But in a way of him trading and what he's developing and his mindset, we are completely different people, okay? So, and that's why our models of indicators are very different. We try to optimize the hardest software. It is the Heatmap, okay? It is the heaviest, okay? Now, but he was involved in something else, and he is actually good at collaborating with other people. He's really good at that. But jamming everything into the one indicator is not serving him good. Second, let me put some more crap, okay? Now, since I start talking about the TDU, and maybe he's gonna listen to that, I'm gonna say everybody, okay? I am getting everyday people who actually approaching me and saying, hey, I was doing some automation with this software, that software, and this software. And I'm like, why did you come up over here? I'm not selling you any automation. And he's just like, yeah, I realized that with many automation software, like you look at this guy of TDU doing presentation on the Ninja Trader a few months ago, like 4, 5, 6 months ago, he was doing presentation about his software that is working semi or some automatically, okay? Algo, bots, whatever it is. And at the end, he's saying, guys, but don't forget, you need to tune it every day. And this is the scam as the scam can be. Do you guys realize why I'm on full emotions? Because everybody believes that algos, that bots can perform instead of you and work for you. But then when you buy 400 software, $1,000 software or higher, then you need to work more on the bot than bot's gonna work for you. Do you guys realize that the whole industry, 90% of them is a complete fucking scam? Do you guys understand how serious I am? I don't afraid if you show this piece to everybody that they will understand There's like a 5 or 4 different software he is selling on TDU that helping people believe in the cloud idea, in the kind of like idea that automation works. It fucking doesn't work. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? How serious I am? Do you guys understand? Because the people losing money and he is making really good money. I'm jealous. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But I don't want to sell something that promise you and then not deliver you. And you simply losing your money. People have a hope. They believe in automation because it seems like it's gonna work, right? But I know some of the people from who actually bought everything what he has on TDU. And bottom line, they're coming to me and saying, hey, could you help me to automate? I'm like, why? Because do you guys have all of his software? Yes. But bottom line is, so this is, I put some, I intentionally tell you, I'm going to put some crap on TDU because it is like a long time in me was sitting and I was like, should I wait or should I be polite and quiet? Should I be? I don't have any more emotions to tell many people, wake up. You're gonna work for this algo bot more than this bot gonna work for you. You waste money. It's a one thing. So you can gain the money, but what about the time that you waste? What about you wisdom that you lose until you gain it, until you learn it? Boom. Okay.
Okay, Oleg, just one thing. The industry is okay. If you kind of look at statistics, right? Statistically, a small percentage of traders succeed, right? Majority, and I'm talking about more retail traders, right? Because predominantly the industry is run by big institutions, right? So, but retail traders basically outnumber, right? Because just the sheer number, but they don't have the capital, right? But you got to think about the actual industry who's really making money off the retail traders, right? It's individuals that are creating indicators, right? And kind of marketing those indicators as the holy grail, right? That's all you need, right, for you to make money, right? Which is not the case, right? Because ideally, if you look at trading, trading is not a difficult thing, right? There's only two: price go up or down. That's it. It's a price ladder, right? And again, people are trying to sell people these dreams, like, hey, we there's an algorithm, there's a way to kind of figure out. There's no way to kind of figure out if it's going to go up or down. It's all random, right? But there are patterns and stuff like that. If you understand the market, etc., right? You can create a small advantage, right? And that small advantage is really small, right? Because a market is a living organism, right? It does change, right? And whatever you are currently doing will eventually not work, right? Because the market will evolve and different patterns will kind of like be created, right? From the different market participants being created. I think we are all in agreement that the industry that we're in right now, there's a lot of individuals trying to take advantage of retail traders, right? By basically pretending there is a holy grail. And that's what you're trying to say, correct?
I think that you tackle really good issues because, yeah, market is changing every day. Volatility is changing every day. The GEX levels, they are also change every day, and not just change, but sometimes they're not aligned with what is expected, and then politics, whatever. So there's so many different factors, and there's a particular conditions that you need to adjust it to. So when it works in the one condition, like I was doing some automation, like guys, I shared with you some of my results, and it was working. But then when market changed slightly in the next week, then boom, I was not able to get the same results.
Yeah. And that's one thing with automations, etc. You have to continually tune your model, or you have to get a model that basically kind of it's an AI, right? Model that can basically kind of think on its feet and basically once different dynamics change, it will change as well, right? But you also have to think about, like we were just talking about, the market is a living organism. It does change, right? There's a lot of factors that go into the market, right? It's gets level, right? It's like hedging. It's like policies. It's individuals, right? It's fear, greed. It's so much stuff that you cannot predict, right? And that's, in my opinion, that's the reason why I don't think algorithms will ever completely take over, right? Because there's too much factors, right? That an algorithm, in my opinion, I know it can do a lot, but it can't basically analyze stuff, right? And kind of if something's about to change and not follow a certain pattern, kind of distinguish like, hey, listen, this pattern is changing, right? I think I need to do this and kind of have an alternate like methodology of this, like having different scenarios, right? And I know computers can do that as well, but eventually they'll be able to do it and they'll take over the world. But for now, I don't think they can do all that, right? So I think on the short term, we do have an advantage. It's not speed because algorithms have that. It's more interpretation, like more kind of analyzing the market, right? And analyzing it on a multi-level aspect, right? Looking at different things, looking at government, looking at the economy, looking at different other motivators for individuals that are in the market, right? What would basically drive them to basically purchase or basically sell, whatever like a market you're in. So
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Even those, I was watching somebody today who actually, some of our members sent me a link to Gex, how to trade it and learn it easy. And this guy, I think I watched him before, and he's doing automation based on the Gex. And he has his own firm, okay, hedging for company or something of that sort, and he is really kind of like measuring for a few years back the gex levels and doing automation around that, and he shows the statistics. Okay, so now even his statistics is fine. What I know really well is that statistics based on the past can be presented and work really well, but when you look into today and into the future, it's the exact point when it starts stumbling by the magic reason, okay, today and tomorrow, past and analyzing the past. I totally agree with that. I was working with some people who were doing automation, and I was like trading it, testing it back and forth. In the past it works absolutely, you can tune it, but in the future, because future is in front, we don't know how we need to tune the future. That is the actually really good what you express it with us. So there's a many things changing constantly. What we can do and use, we can use the analysis. If there's analysis that some AI or whatever can give us and enhance analysis what's going on meantime, that is actually very beneficial. Okay, now, so, but I was like in a rage and emotionally high, talking about particularly about the TDU, because nice guy, but serving many people, kind of like a fooling many people's hopes, and people without experience don't understand that they're actually in the trap of believing in automation, because that's the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is what? Push the button and it's gonna dig you gold, right? So the indicators, in a sense, it is actually the shovel with the button that's called I'm digging you money, right? That's what people believe in indicators, while it's not.
Oleg, the funny. So I had a discussion with my cousin on this, right? And again, the discussion is like, I don't listen. I don't blame people, right, that sell indicators, right? It's not their fault. It's the individual's fault that's buying the indicators and that's believing the hype, etc. Again, they can do their own research. Indicators are there to basically assist with your decision making, right? And
You,
that's it.
yes, you're a very nice person. You're a very nice person. But when there's an alcoholic, there's two parties involved. One party that's selling and another that is consuming. Do you want to sell drugs? No.
And I agree with you as well. But for me, I believe that people they make their own choices, right? So like everybody makes a choice, right? So for me, it's just like, hey, listen, if somebody offers you something if you're not taking the time to basically analyze what's being basically given to you, right? Like, again, who are you really supposed to blame, right? Are you blaming the person that's providing you the thing, or should you blame yourself for not basically taking the time to analyze and understand what's being given to you, right? And how it's affecting you, right?
Yes.
So, like, that's just me, and other people might have their own opinions on, but for me, it's just like, hey, listen, I give accountability to everybody, right? I'm not saying the person that's basically giving out the whatever it is, like the indicator, or your example, like the drugs and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not their fault, but like in the end, you have to give accountability to everyone, right? Because you also have to give accountability to people that's believing the hype.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for actually helping me, because I'm the kind of like compulsive guy. I can take it to the edge and somebody gonna kill me tomorrow. Okay, I know that. I know that. Not only area of the trading, by the way, there is other area where I'm provoking people, like they're really upset with me emotionally. Okay, at least first a few days. But that's my personality, guys. And I see sometimes I'm like sitting and doing like, dude, when I started a long time ago, nobody explained it, all of these kind of small things. Nobody was, because everybody is nice. Everybody is selling their own shit, okay? And everybody want to make an impression I'm a good guy. I'm not a good guy, okay? I'm gonna tell everybody I'm selling the dream as well. But the thing is what, at least I'm educating people how to use the indicators, because if you like take like on the order flow 1 and order flow 2 tutorials, apply to any platform, and those principles are gonna work. So we're gonna come back to the heat map 2 today. I'm gonna switch to my slides, but first let's address your question. Like you ask about how to make meaningful tuning for the heat map with the version that you guys all have right now, right? Look at this. Look at this. This is the old heat map. Is that good with you guys? Let me save the time, right? Okay. Now, look at this. This is the old version of the heat map. While we were talking, I turned it on, recording at least for the old data for the MNQ. Oh, this is MNQ. I should do it for, okay, anyway, for gold, for example. But, okay, MNQ is not too bad as well. Now, look at this. Look at this. What do you have on the heat map? Okay. And this is the heat map. I mean, this is a new version. This is the old one. Okay. Now, number one, what do we have? The maximum volume. What that means, maximum volume for the red. Okay. You see on the spectrum. Do you guys see my screen? And the maximum spectrum when it's like very hot color, right? Do you guys see my screen? Do you guys hear me? Okay. So when there's a red, you put the maximum volume. Right now, I put it 75 by intent. Look at this slider. This is where it is. Okay, 75 by intent, because now it's an Asian session. Look, what if I do, instead of 75, I do like 25? Will it adjust it? I probably need to like refresh it. I don't want to refresh it, okay? I don't want to lose anything on the screen right now, but this is what defines, if you will see the red line here, or this yellow will turn red if I make, instead of 75, I'll make it like 25. This yellow line will turn red. So this is the cutoff maximum. I usually, on an Asian session, like 75 is plenty. I usually add 75, then like 90 or 100, you can say, then 125, and then 150. Maximum, I do like 175 at the noon on the ES, okay? Maximum. But usually on an MNQ or NQ, I go from like maybe 50 in Asian session, okay, or maybe, yeah, about 50 in Asian session, then increase 75 in London, and then like maybe 100 or 125 in the New York, depending on the volatility, okay? So the maximum, because maximum will define the color, what's gonna be below that. If your total volume, when you see the volume is less, you need to like shrink it down the maximum, okay? So you will see in a red what's important right now in this session. So Now, this is one of them. That's number one parameter. By the way, when you start to do the number of bars, it's basically a time. It's a 30-second time frame right now. You do it on 1. That's how you start it. And don't forget that we have this freaking parameter height volume over here. Always make it every time on 0 or 1, okay? Because it's going to be adjusted according to the hiding volume. Okay, it's going to be adjusted to the minimum. If you do something like this, minimum 20, right? So what's going to happen? Minimum 20. I'm afraid it's going to be it's going to kill. Maybe it's not going to kill. Oh, okay. So it's not going to kill. Okay. Now look, what I've done, I have adjusted the minimum. Okay. This is the minimum. So I hide it everything below 20. If I want to hide everything below 50, but my maximum is, let's say 90. Let's take a look at that. That's only one red line, and there's a couple of those. By the way, sometimes you need to do with the old heat map, you quite often you need to reload the script, okay? If you don't, then some of the parameters not gonna trigger it, okay? It's better to refresh every single time. You see now you have more, like when you put your mouse over here, 64. Okay, you have that because that's in the between what you filter it from the minimum and the maximum. Actually, maximum will, all of them after right now, what? This is what? 94 will be maximum. If you make 75, everything after 75 going to be red. You see that? So it's going to be maximum volume for this spectrum. So this is the main, okay? Now, okay, so for the right now, for this session, we can actually go something like, I don't know, 75 probably, and hide, I don't know, 14. Yeah, okay, now let me refresh it. It's going to be, looks, so goal is that when we're looking at the heat map, we want to see a clear perspective. We want to see more clarity than unless you really want to see everything. If that's you trading, you can, if you style trading like on a 1 second, you can put everything. You don't need to hide anything. So the traders who are scalping on a 1 second, they probably gonna do something like this. Boom. And then you're gonna see without any filters. Let us reload it. Ooh, it's not reloading. What is doing? What did I do? Oh, because hide, you see, I forget about the hide volume. This is quite often, guys. I'm sorry, guys, you feel miserable to always forget about this hide volume. Put it on 1, boom. Now you can trade on a 1 second time frame because the book map is actually, or heat map is meant to be traded on the 1 second time frame or below. Okay. So, yes, sir.
Is that high volume? Is that going to be? That's not going to be a functionality anymore.
No. In 3 weeks, guys, in 4 weeks, you will forget about that. Although the function will be there, but it's not going to be adjusted automatically like that. You need to always go to the left, okay, to the super down. But you see okay, now let's make a sense out of this portion, which we collected now, okay, and let's go to, I mean, like, of course, now don't forget that there's a brightness over here, right? You click on V, this is the volume, right? Click on V and you change it to B. B is the brightness. So now the minimum brightness is 0 and maximum is 150. Let's slide it and see the difference. You see now it's not really like jumping out of you and crying out of you. It's less brightness. So it's much low. You know, it's less talking too loud unless you want to talk too loud. The chart talking to you, but so it's your style. Okay, sometimes I mean, like you can adjust the emotional tone or brightness. So this is it. Now let's go to the other settings, which is not just like on the surface over here. Oh, by the way, why not? Why not to adjust it right now? The way that we can actually trade what we're having right now on the screen. So practically for right now, I'm gonna adjust it to 60. Okay, boom. Now, no, doesn't look good to me. 111. What's the brightness? No, oh, I was changing brightness. Sorry, the brightness actually I would like to have maximum and minimum brightness. I mean, usually I put on 0 minimum and the maximum on the 150 on every instrument. Okay, that's by default. Okay, now I click OK. Now, boom. Now I can adjust it. See what I've done? Number of bars. This is the time what we're filtering with. If the liquidity sees there only 1 bar, that's okay. But what if I put like 10 over there? What's gonna happen? So let's say 5. If I put number of bars in time right now 30 seconds, right, on the time frame, boom, 5 by 30 seconds, what's it gonna be? 6 minutes, right? Is that right? Look at this. Look at this. It's simply cut what is less with the volume, other specifics, less than this period of time. We count it by bars. Because if you change the time frame, don't forget, if you're trading on a 10 minutes time frame and you put 1 bar, that's a 10 minutes, okay? So it's probably not gonna, but if you put 2, it's 20 minutes. So just like have a common sense about that. So everybody, sometimes I forget about this. Okay, now let me reverse it back. Instead of 5 bars, now I'm gonna keep all of them. Now let me make a different kind of like a mingle with that. Okay, brightness. No, it's not what I want to do. I want to switch back to volume, minimum volume, probably. Okay, 25. Okay. By the way that I know what should I do first, I need to use the tooltips. So on this version over here, tooltip, you see it's on, right? So anywhere where I put my mouse, it's going to show me the volume. It looks like I want to make visible this one 36. I want to make visible what? This one 37. This one is 39. This one is yellow already there. But I want to see this one, and this is 28. Okay, 28, and what is this? What is this? 31. Okay, 20. What is this? 28. Okay, so here we go. I make a decision. I'm gonna hide everything what is less than 28, right? So I'm gonna minimum volume. I'm gonna do what? 28. Okay, 28. So I'm gonna do like 26 right now. 25. Boom. So what's happening right now? I hide everything what is not that important. The liquidity that is just like nonsense, right? It's just the noise. So I've get rid of the noise. Okay, boom. This is no noise anymore for me. Now I can see my heat map much clearer. And depending is on, by the way, and depending on the way that how close you zoom, right? Because right now there is no footprint, right? But imagine there is a footprint. Then you probably will enjoy some small ones, right? Some small liquidity, but not too much. If you zooming out by nature, right, and trading something like that, then probably some of this liquidity is too much for you. Okay, then okay, so I want to get rid of this one or highlight it. It is 40. Okay, what is this? I put it over, I see it. Okay, what it is, 44. I want to get rid of this stinkers, 26, definitely. Okay, 50. Okay, so what I'm gonna do if I'm trading, this is my style, for example, like zooming out or whatever. I want to see how many levels on the right side. Then okay, boom, I'm gonna adjust it easily 25. I'm gonna increase it up to the 30. Boom, now I enjoy it. And this heat map is actually really good as well when using instead of 1, especially on on the S&P ES. There will be some bots or market makers around your price line on a distance, like a tunnel effect. Okay, some people call it cloud effect. Okay, so that's why on another one, on a ES, I usually use some like a few bars. So I want to clean those short life. It's a longevity. That's actually appropriate terminology. Longevity of this liquidity. If it's a short life, then I want to kill this short life. It's not important. I want to see, for example, if this is your strategy, I don't know your strategy you're trading, but now if you're not like really scalping and zooming in kind of settings, then you want to get rid of these little sinkers. So you want to clean it up as well. So that's how you tune. Nothing like we can switch it like in an instant to any other instrument, and we're gonna get the same stuff. So what do? Bottom line, you do adjust the maximum volume Of course, the brightness is 150, minimum brightness 0. That's cool. Now, you do what? On a V, on a volume, you adjust the maximum volume for the session. You lower it if it's Asian session. You higher it no more than on the particular instrument, like on the NQ, probably 90, maybe 125 will be maximum on the New York. And on the ES, it's maybe will be higher, maybe 175 maximum volume on the ES as an example. And then you playing with the minimum volume, you filtering out minimum volume. And then if you want additional cleaning, longevity, you use the number of bars to filter out the short lives stinkers, okay, who just live like popping up and popping down. Because one of the key is why fucking ChatGPT is actually really making the fuss about the heat maps, because they're saying it's really people experiencing who are using heat maps with the pulling and stocking, with bluffing, okay, with fake liquidity. But how you get rid of that? That's exactly how you get rid of this. This is the filter number of bars. By the way, did you ever seen that filter anywhere out there? Maybe there's only one platform who using that filter, by the way, okay, but not too many. I can name it to you, but this is really beauty. We use that specific filter, okay? Now we have additional filter as well, but I'm not gonna talk about those, not to make your life difficult, but this is really in some instruments, it's really absolutely must use the filter by number of bars, okay? So this is it. Don't forget always to put your height volume less than this number or about this number. Boom. If you put it on 1 or 0, it's always be helping you every single time. Okay, that's it. So now let me reload the NISA script. Boom. Is there any question? Look at that. Look at that. Now, that makes sense or what? I'm not challenging. I'm simply asking. Maybe I need to ask to explain something else?
Thank you, Oleg. This is awesome.
Sorry, I'm a little bit aggressive, okay? I'm happy. I drink too much coffee this morning. I'm going to switch to, what, MES? Do I have a MES? Okay, ES. So I can actually, in a few minutes, I can do the same magic with the MES. Okay, MES. Okay, let's do it MES. Okay, so now, by the way, guys, do you want me to promote something good? Something that everybody is really looking for? Before I'm going to do that promotion, because there is something that many people ask and ask and ask. What it was before MNQ, right? It was MNQ. Okay, here we go. Now, with the new version, by the way, you don't need to click on recording. It will record it. If you set it once, it will record on any time frame for the instrument that you once selected when you open the Ninja, okay? So that's going to be much easier. So let me switch from the old version. Okay, actually, it's the best way is just to simply hide it over here instead of over there. I'm gonna do disable, visible, boom, and now you're gonna see the new version. And the new version, it works exactly the same way, except we added more features in that. Okay, so this is 30 seconds, right? So this is the 30 seconds, the very same instrument, okay? But look at this. Like now, let me give you some promotions. Okay, so do you see this? Did you ever find that function available for you on a Ninja? What I'm talking about, guys? Come on, wake up! Did you ever seen that?
There's no functionality like this in Asia.
So what I'm doing, I'm rolling my wheel on the mouse. That's it. That's all I do. That's all I do. Because irregular function is just to jam it like from the top and jam it from the bottom, and then that's how you go into a particular section, right? For example, like if you want to see what's going on right over here on the top, right? What do? You're like, okay, let me put it in the middle. then you're going to like increase over there. Oh, geez, excuse me. Let me say I'm going over here, okay? Okay, I'm going to look at the, yeah, like over here. Where's the prices right now? Right, somewhere like over here. I want to see it. So then you put it in the middle, then, oops, excuse me, then you like increase it vertically, and then you increase it horizontally, and then you need to fix it again to put in the middle. Is that enough for you or not? Then this is just like mingling again and again, right? Now you're getting close to that section, what you want to see closer, right? Now, instead of that, you simply put your mouse over, and you don't even need to click. You simply rolling your roller on the mouse. That's it. If you put your mouse over here, boom, it will zoom in that section where you put your mouse. So no longer, I mean, this kind of function is out there, right? But then you need to like do this, and I'm like, anyway, there's like, anyway, it's like, it's a nonsense anyway. So now, with this function that we provided to you, this will be, we planning to release it at the same time with the heat map. It's going to be absolutely free indicator. Another function is, look at this. Did you guys ever use it? I know I'm not stop. Drink too much coffee. Sorry, I'm hyper today. Okay, look at this. Look at this. You're going to the data. You want to center it, right? You click on the center price on the scale, right? You click apply. By the way, let me turn off my function that you guys will see. So this is chart control. I'm going to turn off this chart control. It's called the chart control. That's what you're going to, guys, all of you going to get absolutely free. And we build it as a tool for Heatmap mainly, okay? Now, let's go to the data, okay? I'm entertaining you guys, pure entertaining. Select price on scale, right? I click apply, boom, okay? Now, look at this. Chart's gonna jump around the chart. Oh, jeez. Chart's going, okay, oh, whatever. This chart will go and jump around the price line. Oh, nonsense. Since I moved this something on the chart, it's gonna be turned off. No, it's still on. Oh, okay. It's still on. It's still out there. But even now, it's actually smooth. But then, oh, okay. Now, usually chart is actually jumping around the price line. And if you do any kind of mess, whatever you move, and then boom, this option is no longer out there. Boom, it's center price and scale. It's not there. If you're streaming, you know what I'm talking about. But this nonsense is coming to the end. Why? Because with the new function, let me open this chart. It's called the chart control. You're gonna select, look at this, chart scroll. Yes. So you can manage with your roller. Control live price visibility. I'm gonna explain you how far from the right it will be. You no longer need to set manually the right side margin, okay? And above and below ticks. What is the space above and below? So I'm gonna click OK. So look what's going to happen over here. It's a 200. Okay. Now look, guys, if I'm gonna have a 200 price lines, look what's gonna happen. It's gonna adjust in the middle. It's always gonna keep me in the middle. I mean, like this is like of course, there's a more there's like what, how many price lines? Probably 50, right? Up and down. It's gonna keep me always in the middle. The key is that if I set 200, it's probably was too much, right? Let's say if I set it for 20, it will keep me this amount of ticks from the top and from the bottom. It's not gonna go over the top. It's not gonna go over the bottom. So it's gonna keep me in this kind of range in the middle size. So, and with that, you will have it easier to actually see. And if you have this indicator on the right, some numbers or whatever indicator on the right, you're going to be easier for you to keep your eye and track where the price is and what indicators are changing with that particular function. And then another thing is like, look, there is a margin on the right? So there's a properties, and we click on this, and there is a what? How many right side margin? Oh, 8. Okay, I'm gonna put it like 0. Okay. But sometimes you really need to know how many ticks the something on the right takes, and then you set the margin. And quite often I adjust it like so many times a day, and I get sick of it. Now let's take boom. If you want to drop it here with your mouse, that's where it's gonna stay. If you drop it over here, the chart will stay there. If you drop it there, I don't know, by whatever reason, the chart will stay there. Okay, it's not gonna get closer. So you set the right side margin by dropping with your mice. Okay, so this is beautiful, because sometimes volatility increase and this particular the indicator will be thicker, and then I need to like make a more margin, make a more margin, make a more margin. And if I'm streaming, that's really the real state of the chart is really the issue. So we fixing it, we already fix it with that tool that's called the chart scroll. Okay, not chart scroll, excuse me, it is an old name. It is the chart control. We're gonna release it to everybody. So now, guys, did anybody get excited by that little presentation? Anybody need this tool? Come on, guys.
It's nice because anytime that we don't have to use two hands, which is what we typically had to do, it's quite nice.
Okay. I don't know. When I start using it, I'm like, I cannot live without it. I cannot live without it. I don't even believe that what I was trading on the Ninja without that chart control. Because now it's like, dude, it's like so nice. I can see the whole. By the way, look at this. By the default, another function of that Ninja is really limiting. If I one click demonstration, guys. Sorry for this. I'm gonna turn off that chart control, and you will see right in front of you. You're gonna see the limitations. Oh, okay. I need to make it invisible. Okay, boom. Okay, now look at this, guys. Okay, let's say I'm right over here, right? Is that still working? Okay. Okay. Now, if I want to see what's happened yesterday, right? Or like today, actually, this is the new session, right? I want to see that. I want to jump all of that chart from the left to the right. And what's going on? It gives me a certain amount of ticks that I can put in, right? I'm really surprised. I think it looks like it too much. Is that off? Yeah. Now, guys, so this is the maximum, right? This is the maximum. Do you see this, guys? Let me put a little square or something, the rectangle right over here. So you know it's like right over here. It was the left edge, right? Okay, now I'm gonna add the chart scroll. And this is the magic, by the way. This is the, like, people were waiting for 20 years to get this function. If you take a look at the Ninja forums and stuff like that, 20 years, like somebody asked, and Ninja doesn't even care about that. Now, look what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna use my scroller, now I'm getting more information on the same chart. What does that mean? On a 30-second time frame chart, you're able to put even like a 1 hour chart, or 15 minutes chart, or 20 minutes chart, or 5-minute chart. It depends how much you want to zoom in and zoom out. It lets you put more data than regular Ninja lets you with their limitations, because their limitations, how much time. Look, there's a still space on the left and the right, because I recorded only 3 days, but there's not recorded, but I have a on chart in the data only for 3 days, but practically if I put like not the 3 days, I can put like 7 days. I don't know. Okay, it's probably gonna do that as well. Oh yeah, okay. Now see, I've got what I was trading before and stuff like that. So I've got 7 days, so I can jump in. You see how much? It's just like an unbelievable function. But don't tell many people about that, because Ninja will like, what are you guys doing? Are you totally like reversing what we're giving people? Yeah, because we can. Okay, we're not reversing, but we kind of like engineering it, and my engineers actually know really well what they're doing. So this is absolutely fantastic. I totally enjoy it, because quite often when I trade on this time frame, right, trading right now over here in a footprint, and then boom, I need to see the big picture. I scroll it out with the zoomer, with the roller, boom, I can see in any, as close or as far as I wanted to in a snap, boom. And now, boom, I'm trading again. I'm trading in that very location, boom. So now in the small details. So that is absolutely fantastic. At least I consider that as the function without which I don't even imagine anymore to trade. Okay, so now, okay, now guys, why I spend time to talk? Because it's give me more time to play with the heat map. The new heat map is the same functions. Guys, get used to it. Just I give you 3 minutes max. Okay, right now it's about the same function. Get used to it. The color spectrum end, it says like this is okay, 150, like it was there, the maximum color. Okay, now volume for spectrum start 0, right? Now maximum for spectrum end. So over here you can what it is right now, 81. So I'm gonna make it less. Okay, I'm gonna make it like what it was there, like 70. I don't remember. But the lower you make, like on the previous version, it works exactly the same function. The lower you make, the more active color it will produce for you for that volume. So if this is too crazy for Asian session, right? So you increase it. And like for the New York, definitely you want to keep this in red, right? So you can adjust it on the fly. If you want to change it from 150 to like 300, and then this is the maximum limit, you change it to 300, and now you can adjust it up to between whatever 0 and 200. If you change it to whatever the hundreds you want to change it to 400, boom, now your slider is adjusted between 0 and the 400, whatever you want it to. You see what I mean? So now this is really like a cool, and some of these functions that make you life easier, but you see it's adjusted right on the fly, right? Right on the fly. It's not that easy where to build it, guys, okay? Now, let me put it again back to 70 or something. Yeah, something like this. Okay, now, does it make sense now? Yes, exactly. Now, hide volume less than. Now, this slider, as you asked me, is no longer moving without you. Okay, if you want to hide something, then you're like, okay, I want to hide up to the 30 or 20, boom. Now you're seeing only what is above that volume. The number of bars, it works the same way. Smoothing. Now, guys, what is a smoothing? Look at this, guys. M and Q is really tough. It's very thin levels, right? By default, by the way, this is the default. You put 10, 10 over here, boom. This is what by default you're gonna see, unless, of course, like there's a unless you start filtering it. Now, this is really tough. This is when you filter it, right? You see the lines are very thin. On the S&P, those lines are thicker, right? There's a more liquidity on a passive level, but over here is not. So what you do, you use the smoothing that will grab some from above that line and below that line, kind of make it thicker, and then it's gonna make this line more visible with the smoothing. So smoothing, there's a formula that actually grabbing the liquidity around it because the line are very thin. Okay, so now that is actually really, we have our own formula, guys. It's not the way that the Bookmap is using or any other software. We found that their formulas outdated, let's say. We found a better formula and we deliver it to you. Okay, so smoothing really works like for the NQ, especially if you're on NQ, not MNQ like we are right now. It's going to be very thin. And now, so you're playing with this, and there's two sliders over here. You can really adjust some tuning really well with these two particular sliders. Okay, so this is a two additional over here, but mainly it works exactly the same way like a previous one, only it makes updates on the fly. When you change it, you instantly get the new way that makes sense for you. If you want to make sense on the fly, boom, you can make sense right by moving those freaking sliders. Wonderful slider. You can adjust it and see it right in front of you. That's why we wanted to make it more visual and the user-friendly interface. Okay, so I mean, it's just like absolutely incredible. At the same time, on the new one, we have the custom functions. It is the simply colors that you select yourself, whatever the colors you want it to above or below. not just the blue and red, right? You want to do others, and with the some of the functions over here, you can hide the market maker like you're doing in a pass DOM. You can do exactly the same right over here and hide the market maker, which I called on the gold. You can hide it with this additional filters, because you see we have the 5 volumes to filter. So that gives you a chance. If you really want to tune a particular instrument, you will be able to. So this is it. This is it. And it is also, if you can notice out here, playback mode, you can actually play back. Okay. If you want to use the recorder, I mean, it's always recording. You can keep a few days in recording, right? But in terms of like, if you want to replay it, you can replay it with this function. So when you go into replay mode in the Ninja, you turn this on and it will show you, not by the Ninja show you only 10 or 20 ticks above and below. Then there's another way to record the data, level 2 on the Ninja, that expand to 64 levels. And all of that is, I'm saying, I told my programmers, no, we're not going to be satisfied. We're not going to be satisfied with the regular Ninja functions that you only record a little portion around the price. This is fucking not really for traders. We want to record 500 levels, 300 levels. So that's exactly what you're able to play with this replay with this new software. As many price levels as you recorded, or not even recorded, but you set it, you can have all of that fully functional, you know, hundreds up, 500s up, 500s down, okay, and replay it. So this is what kind of like I totally enjoy, right? So this is old one and this is the new one. Let me switch to the from custom to the regular or a standard, let's say, right? And if I want to adjust it on the fly, definitely I can do that. Okay, setting like this, height volume less than that. So this is red. Why there's too much red? Okay, contrast. Okay, let me put it on 10. This is, I put it on 10. This is by default. Okay, this is norm. And now volume spectrum end. Look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna do and I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna do 200, whatever. Now I'm gonna increase this. Boom. So now, do you see how not complicated, not sophisticated it is? So depending on the way you, how close up you trading, you can change it as well and zoom it in. So this is it. So does it make sense? It's the same functions and same ideas what you have on the old one. Okay, on the old one. Okay. So anyway, I try to make a sense of that. Now I'm gonna talk about, after a little break with you guys. I want to get some feedback. I want to tackle something about the tutorials that I provided last time, and I thought that since it was too much information, I jammed in like humongous amount, which I shouldn't. We better digest a smaller amount, but then we better practice it. So we're gonna switch after a little short break, which I let you talk. Okay, so I'm shutting down my mouse, and let you talk and enjoy the community. Go ahead, guys.
I'll just say like just based off of what we learned last week, and I think this is more of like the Heatmap setup. I think one of the things that I found really informative was just the traps and how like the Heatmap can kind of detect some of the traps within the market. And I'm talking about when you see a liquidity and there's like a liquidity sweep, price moves, but then moves right back to that liquidity, right, and sweeps it again for the real move. That was one thing that I did find really useful as well. And I've actually been trading that for a while, where I don't take the first move. I wait for a hit of liquidity and then just a movement, and then just wait for a retracement back. So I would say that was from last week. That was really helpful and informative.
Okay. Okay, that's actually really one of the scenario I wanna touch today as well. Okay, so thank you for saying about that. I was curious if anybody practicing or finding additional things useful. Okay, guys. Anybody else?
I missed last week. I was wondering if I could have the some kind of recording from last week.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Hi, Oleg. My name is Art. I purchased the Pack 4 during the weekend, and good. I looked it up. I used it today here. Just had some minor things like the numbers were not showing up in the bubbles here. So I'm just wondering if what would be the best way to get support for that.
Numbers on the MBO?
Yeah, for the iceberg orders, it would show a square, but then the number would not show up inside the square.
Okay, that's it.
For the
Okay.
MBO.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yep. Okay, what instrument do you use?
I do M&Q and NQ.
Okay.
Also, I do have 4 charts basically. So M&Q, NQ, MES, and ES.
Okay, cool. That's important. Okay. So, okay, let's go. Anybody want to say, we're going to tackle this, okay? I'm going to show you exactly on the chart immediately, okay? But first, do you guys, anybody want to say about the heat map? What you guys learned last time? What's important? What's maybe valuable? What maybe you used? Okay, guys. Anybody? Please. I don't want to punish you guys by saying, "How dare you being so quiet?" Because I'm really working hard for you guys. By the way, I should make you feel guilty. So those of you who were on the presentation, but not everybody, right?
One thing that was helpful, Oleg, that you mentioned, and hopefully you can kind of go through it again, is just absorption, right? And kind of identifying the absorption at liquidity zones, where probably see one of those smart bubbles and basically no progression afterwards, and then just a rejection of that particular area. So
Okay.
kind of seeing examples of those.
Yeah, exactly. Like right over here. Okay. 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 Let's. By the way, yes, sir.
It's good to see when you are approaching a level. Then so you have it in your mind, and then you see the absorption. That's almost gives you an extra confidence there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now let me first talk about the indicator. Where is my chart? At least let me put at least one chart out here. This is 3 minutes. This is the current. Okay, this is the current. Do you guys seeing this chart? This is the current MGC. Oh yeah. Okay. So same with any other NQ, MQ, whatever it is. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. We are looking at the numbers. But anyway, it's better probably do exactly what you're asking about the NQ. Where do I have this NQ EES? I should have the chart. 1 second. Let me just like see where it is. Just a second. I have so many charts. I will find it. Give me a 1 second. I will find it. I will find it. Okay, 1 second. Okay, this is where is this chart? This chart is, where is that? Okay, I have a few monitors I'm playing with. Oh, okay, this is it. I think this is the one. This is, okay, here we go. This is the M&Q on 30 seconds. Okay, now let's take a look. Let me refresh this. Okay, now, when we take a look at the MBO settings, and the numbers, okay, now there is, do you see that there's numbers, right? What numbers you don't see? You don't see the numbers on the total MBO or the histogram?
Oh no, just on the like the iceberg orders if they would come in, I see the square pop up, but then I don't see the number inside the square.
Okay. Okay.
Have you seen that if I
So so this is the MNQ, right? The where you gonna see you don't on the M on the micro. There's a less icebergs. Icebergs usually on mini. So if you want to hunt for the icebergs, you hunt them on mini. Now let me turn on the icebergs right here on the MBO. Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, let me add the icebergs. I'm gonna go to the BF over here, and this is the icebergs. So I'm gonna add these icebergs, and I'm gonna click. Now with the icebergs, you see this icebergs filters. I don't know what do you have. It's better to have it on 0 or 1, so you kind of see all of them. Then the minimum size is 20. Okay, it's sufficient. Maximum size for the maximum volume is about 200. It's probably really much right now. They're not going to be probably more than 100 or 75. So for this session right now, if I really 200 is too much. And okay, there's some other the way that I kind of like what is this color set? Okay, anyway, this is a text, right? So iceberg line, yes, iceberg line is a lifeline. Line width is 1. Okay, extended is cool. By default it's supposed to work. Now is there any settings where it's saying the text to show or to hide? Show text values, yes, this is show text values. Make sure it's on, right? So boom, I apply it. Let's see if there's any icebergs. While we were talking, the data was actually there on the MBO. Let's see if there's any icebergs coming up.
I have it set up on both. I have the MNQ and the NQ. I put it on both real quick here.
Yeah. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Now I don't see the icebergs right now on this. I don't see them. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is, you see 1 and 1. You see this 1 and 5 actually. So now the minimum, you probably start to increase the size if this is for this Asian session. Make these settings. By the way, many people will benefit from your question, not only you. I know it for sure. MBO iceberg, to make it visible, okay, shape minimum size instead of 20 pixels, make it 50, okay? Why not? Because we just want to make idea that we understand, or we can like feel it. Where is that things? Okay, now just a second. Okay, so now even on this one, you see now 1 and 5 is much more visible, right? Boom, at least I can see them. The key is this 5 originated here and fill it in right here. That's why there's a no line to the right side. If there's a line to the right side, that means you will see on the right side in white the order that it still will try to refill that iceberg. You will see that iceberg right here, on right over here, okay, on the histogram, okay. So did you try to does it work?
I do it in my chart here, so it looks like that should work.
Okay, now you see this round one. So there are 2 types of icebergs, right? And that's why we have a square and we have a round one. So this is round one. This is iceberg itself too. It was filled 10 volume right here on the spot. There's no continuity. But when there's a continuity, you will see that probably, I don't know, if I switch to NQ, we'll see. I don't know what was going to be NQ. Oh, jeez. What it is, NQ. Okay, NQ. So that's how it. So now we deal with the icebergs. You ask about something else, and I probably forgot what you asked else about. Anything else?
That is it. And then, yeah, just look at this. What you're using here, right, is the MBO data. Then, so this would be I'm still trying to understand the packs. Right, there's 4 packs, so I got pack number 4.
Yeah.
To see the Delta 1, Delta 2, what would be the best combination of packs?
No, the Delta 1, Delta 2, just we right now talking only about the MBO, right?
I'm talking about all 4 packs at once. So what would be a good combination between the 4 packs to have? I do have pack number 4 that I used today, but what would be a good combination of the packs to have?
Okay, so what I trade myself, I'm definitely using a footprint. That's given. Then I trade the heat map. So the footprint is a pack 1. Then I usually for my trading I using the heat map. That's for 2. Excuse me, that's a pack number 3. Then for triggering, when I want to see the Delta 2, it is in a pack 2. It's called a pass DOM. And inside of the pass DOM, there's a section for pulling and stacking. That's where this Delta 2 sitting inside of that. Okay. So Delta 2 indicator at the bottom, usually that I trade with, that's what is the must for me to see if the level 2 is energizing into the direction at the time trading. Because after the life cycle absorption, and then there's the exhaustion, and there's a pullback is going back, let's say in the upper direction, I want to see if the level 2 align with the level 1 into the same direction. That's when I use the Delta 2. Okay, so I do it, and everybody can say that it's absolutely true. So I do the Delta 2 as well. That's one of my key signals in appropriate time as a cofactors. So I do MBO. I don't do icebergs, by the way. I do MBO, then MBO DOM, and I do heat map, and I do the level 2 from the pass DOM package 2, and I do footprint. Those my basics. Not basics, but practically that's my favorite. Okay. Sorry for I have to apologize to you that the names and titles for the indicators, they are not congruent. We're gonna fix that, because when we were developing, we're trying to stand out a little bit, and we name it our indicators in a way that now I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for the people who are trying to make sense what packet is, but we in a way to fix that. Okay, so anyway, if you go over that, then you will be okay. So if you got all 4 packs, this is my footprint. Pack 1, pack 2, it is the pass DOM, Delta 2, and it is the heat map and the MBO. That's oh, by the way, the big trades, by the way, from the MBO, I really love the big trades indicator. It is I filter only largest, biggest trades with the smart trades. Okay, largest amount, top of the crop. Okay, that's my favorite as well. Okay, but there's some other indicators in between. It depending really on the strategy. I don't know, you past strategy, what you used to trade. Maybe you favor the delta. Maybe you favor some other indicators or whatever. I don't know your strategy. It's probably better for me to ask you a question before I start answering you. But for me, I name it. Okay. But it's really depends how you trade, what setups you trade, what entry models and stuff like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, is that satisfied? Okay, good. Now, okay.
Yep.
Okay, now you see this, like, for example, this is the volume 1 sitting on an NQ, was, they started the history of that, started right over here. Now they fill it with the volume 1 over here, but then they fill it 6 others over here. Meantime, if this is like a development like that, you will see on the right side the white container on the histogram right over here. and you will, they try to refill it, and you will see like they're refilling it, refilling. Sometimes they refill like large number, one by one, small by small. So when it's like goes to the zero, it's gonna be like again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's gonna like, it's really fun to observe it. It's really kind of, you can see that kind of small details on the ES more like easily or more often, let's say, when they refill it and playing like that. But this is now beginning of the Asian, and they like decided to jump in here. The problem with the icebergs is because there's a hedging that sometimes that's what the other side of the market is doing, and you need to know how to trade it, not depending on the colors of the iceberg, but on the reaction of the iceberg. But although I want to say this, that at the very beginning of the Asian session, the colors quite often align with the direction at the very beginning of the Asian session. But then the closer we get into the London and the New York, then the colors lose the sense. Okay, and there's a couple different reasons why, but I want to say that icebergs, be careful how you trade this, because this buyer was sitting over here. What this buyer was sitting over here at the very bottom, he show up over here, but then he's seeing that the price is not lowering, so he jump in the wagon over here. So he move it 20, maybe about 20 ticks right above, and so now he's enjoying the ride. And probably he already made money right over here. He can get out of this wagon here, or even now. He doesn't have to wait like you and me to go all the way like 100 ticks above. They don't need this. They can make money on a short distances, and he already probably made money. Although this guy, I don't know, is that the same or not? But here we track by the ID that there's a 3 guys or 3 volumes sitting right there. They are from the same source, because it is the exchange that provide the data to separate these icebergs, and they provide the data. We simply, with our indicators, able to read the data, because not everybody who receive the data able and capable to read and reproduce on the chart. We are the only company from the NISA trader ecosystem, or whatever, the NISA trader community, that capable to do that. Although there's a bunch of people right now who are selling the fake MBO because they're jealous what we do, and they're saying, oh, you don't need the data level 2 deep data like you getting for our MBO, because they calculating. And when you ask them, are you guys calculating or are you using the data? They're like, no, we have a really smart formula to calculate. I don't want to name the name of the company, but they basically are riding on the idea that MBO is possible now on the NISA, and they exploit it. And sometimes they not really telling you that they don't have the data based indicator, but it's a calculation. And if you put together a non-data with the calculation MBO, you will see the huge difference, because they are not really accurate if you check it. Okay, so anyway, that was my little kind of things about the MBO, because there's people who trying to mimic what we do. Anyway, is that provide you answer?
Yeah, and then also on the chart that you have now, right? So what I've noticed is, so you have this, you have the MBO data on, so you really, and then as you dig in, it turns into like the 121 on here, right? Which is,
this is
delta,
right? No, this is not delta. This one is a smart trade. Smart trade. Okay, let's make it larger. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see this plum kind of semi-transparent on the background. Oh, you able to?
But it's, yeah. So it seems like here you have so you have like pack 1, pack 2, and pack 3 inside one single chart.
Yeah. This is the pack.
Okay, I just assumed that they have to be on different windows. That's why. So no, but you just have it inside. So as you zoom in, there's just more detail that comes available.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do.
And then the GEX2 and GEX1 data, what pack is that from, or how?
There is no pack for GEX. The GEX is, let's take a look where I'm getting at. I simply rename it to the word gex. Okay. This is the gex, right? And the name of that indicator is M. I learned it from my people, by the way. The people who yeah, the people who are sitting here, they educated. This is you see this mentor queue right over here. This is the indicator. Okay. I don't know why it takes a long time, but this is the indicator, mentor queue indicator. When you sign up with the mentor queue, by the way, guys, could you ask you questions? I was like on the premium with subscription with them, and then they deprived me of this indicator. They told me that I need to sign up with the premium. Is that true, or you can get the this indicator download from their chart without being premium?
No. It's a premium. It's a premium.
Yeah. Oh, it's a premium. Oh, okay. So this is super expensive. I mean, like many people don't feel. But now, before we started the session, if you joined us, not at the very beginning, I was talking with Keith, and I was saying that a couple days ago I was just by Exprompto. There were like a bunch of people watching NQ streaming, which I provide almost every day, and I like start talking with them. And the people who joined that stream, they were watching for the gex levels, okay? And me, as I love to talk. By the way, look at this, look at these icebergs out there, because I have I mean, this I definitely need to adjust the sizing, right? Look at this. You can see 50. That was like the end of this New York session, right? And at the very beginning, look at this. And at the around noon, it was like 62 in iceberg. Look, it's unbelievable. So anyway, what was I was talking about?
Talk about NetSecure.
Yeah. So the things is that let me switch to MQ just briefly. The things is that what I don't want you or anybody to spend the extra money. Why? Because I care if you spend money for my indicators, right? Yes, exactly. Yes. But since you already bought this, right? But you may think about next month, should you keep subscription or not? What is more important for you, GEX or the best order flow indicators? Let me be a little bit selfish and you will see what I'm saying. The things is that not you will see it, but I will at least try to express it. Sorry, I'm a little bit jumping. Too much sugar or too much coffee. Okay, look, the key is when we have the GEX, and that's what I learned from this community, by the way. If you don't know how to trade the order flow and you don't have a heat map, then the value to have the GEX indicator is not that much. If you have order flow indicators and you read the charts with order flow and the heat map as well. What is my point is there's a bunch of people now is extremely crazy about the gex levels, because you can kind of project the future of the day, right? And that's what the people like Holy Grail is in gex levels. Yeah, one day it can serve you really incredibly well, but the other day you're gonna lose miserably with the only gex. And people who trading the price action without the order flow, they get frustrated, because my main point, to say it shorter, the heat map is the key to trade the gex indicators. And even if you don't have the gex like line, like you see this line, right? But you're seeing where the liquidity is sitting. Look where the liquidity is sitting. Behind that line, there's liquidity sitting there, right? Now, liquidity is sitting right here. Will you trade liquidity on the heat map more than the GEX? answer is probably, and I ask my community to tell me and correct me, if I see the main level on the gex, probably like something like over here, right? Then I may just like, yeah, be careful about the HVL, ODTE, or gex1 if they're together, or this like a 1 day max sitting right over there, right? If the price is gonna get close over there, I will be careful. Call resistance. This is the main levels. But the other levels like gex number 2, gex number 3, gex number 4, number 10, whatever, it's probably I will trade anyway, no matter what level it is, but it's not significant. I will trade it only. And base, not only, but the more relying on the heat map liquidity and the order flow. Okay? So is that guys, did I express it myself correctly? Or not? Could you guys add you comments on this? Is that correct? That the heat map and order flow more important in, not always maybe, but in most of the time than the only gex? Huh?
I think we talked about this previously as well. So the guess level is just, again, it's just like a math. It's just a calculation, right, with levels, right, where individuals might basically put trades, right, and those are really more for hedging for these institutional brokers, right. But again, with like liquidity, those are actual orders being placed, right. Again, you can have a line on the chart which are gets, right. Those are just lines on the chart. Actual heat map where people are really putting orders. That's what really matters, not random line. Because I can draw a line saying that's a guess level. If no orders are being placed there, is it really important? So
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, thank you very much for this. And I put a few screenshots together, by the way. Maybe I need to deliver it on the next presentation. I don't know. But the thing is that I made a screenshots where the liquidity is sitting on one particular instrument today, yesterday, 3 days ago, and where the liquidity, the GEX line exactly reside on the chart. And the most important GEX lines sitting exactly where liquidity is sitting on the heat map. So I made this conclusion for myself, hey, if I trade liquidity anyway, then the GEX level is kind of like good to have. But if I don't have them, I'm not practically losing anything. Except maybe regime for today, if it is negative or positive, telling me we're gonna do a mean reversion day, or we're gonna do like more like going up or going down, right? But
that information is actually free. That's free with the package. Just having like the actual, if it's a negative or positive Gex day, so, or gamma day, so that's free.
That's free.
So
Could
I
you
don't.
could you share your screen or tell me where to find that free? Because
It's only on the website, right? I think if you have like just a regular package, right? They tell you if the day is going, and it depends on like what actually no, it tells you if it's a positive or negative gamma.
where should I go? How do I find it?
I didn't have the website. I can quickly look in the website and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it should be in the website. A lot of this information, specifically, I'm not talking about levels, but if for a particular like ES and Q, you can literally go online and kind of see if they're primarily is it like a positive gamma or a negative gamma? Because a lot of this information is public.
Really? Do you mind? Do you mind? I mean, I'm right now, as you can see on their website. If by any reason you will find that and share with us, I'll be really enjoying that.
I can. I'll look it up and I'll ping the group.
Okay. Okay. Now, guys, everybody is ready to go to talking about the heat map. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Now, let's just like number one, by the way, number one, I highly recommend everybody to watch the idea about the order flow cycle. I think this is detrimental. Even if you trade somebody else indicators, doesn't matter. But the whole concept is absolutely, it's not just a unique, but it's really helping me dramatically. I'm trying to find that freaking slide. I will find it. I will find. Okay, I don't see that over here. Why is that? So, but anyway, and the liquidity cycle. Oh, it should be down over here. Where is that? I'm okay. I will show it to you. The key is that when we understand, not understand, when we used to look, this is something that I'm trying.
On page 40.
Page 40? Page 40. 40. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you very much. So look, guys, this is, in my opinion, is really the key. If you use the Vikov, the same stages in a Vikov, the same stages in the life cycle, like liquidity cycle, okay, liquidity phases. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 phases. Those phases, when you have them in a sequence, really helping you to avoid the mistakes or errors. Let me get this out. You will avoid automatically if you're using that pullback, especially in a pullbacks, as the cycle, right? Then you will wait after the absorption. You will wait for the exhaustion, and then when the other side, those were sellers, right, engage again into the same direction as that expansion over there on the left side, then you're looking at this very moment on the indicator level 2, right? Delta level 2, right somewhere like over here. If the absorptions happen here, you wait until the price get over that, so you know that we already like over this bubble with the absorption. We get over that. Then if the reaction actually we couldn't get over, then of course you're not gonna trade on continuity, right? You're gonna wait until the exhaustion will take more waves, and then you're gonna do your continuity. Now, but that's really a diagram that helps me to trade, and that's exactly when this is an initiative on a level 1, I want to see on a footprint, and I also want to see on a level 2. This is me. So, but to wait the certain signal for initiative as the cofactors on the footprint and the level 2 is the key for me. Now, with that saying, we definitely, just by looking on this diagram, we can see that liquidity is sitting probably over here, right? Most likely. That's why this price is actually hesitating. It's hesitating, or whatever it is, exhausted, or whatever, the trap buyers sitting here by the something that happens, that this liquidity probably sitting there. Now, where else liquidity is most likely sitting? If there's absorption over here, that means there's some liquidity sitting over there. And most likely that this absorption happens, there's like a huge liquidity sitting there. Now, this liquidity, by the way, let me give you high probability scenario right now. One of the high probability scenario. When we have, let's say this liquidity is actually, we're taking from here. That was a sitting liquidity right here, right? And it was taking, and there was a false break out. But above, there's a second layer, and especially it can sit like yesterday. It can sit like not yesterday, today. It was, no, actually Friday. It was sitting like a thick amount, okay, cluster of liquidity. So while these people on a level 2 let the price to sneak in, maybe those buyers were like in the moment stronger and they actually get over. But then they're like, dude, there's like the brick above my head. I don't want to meet this brick. I mean, definitely. And there's some other front runners start on a level 2, start selling. Dude, that's why it's not really touching that liquidity, because it's afraid, and those front runners start to sell on a level 2. That's why there's some space over here. This scenario is high probability. It was a break, and then there's a cluster of liquidity sitting here, and the price hesitated, not confident, no commitment right now. We need to shake out whom? The sellers. They need to shake out from this momentum. Let them close their deal. Let them close their cases. Let them be in the profit. So let them freaking get in the profit. We're going to shake them out, and then we're going to go again. So the price is usually doing that. You accumulate, and then you want to close in profit. So let them close in profit. But this scenario is the high probability. Where else is a high probability scenario? Where else? There's a couple other things, by the way. Couple other things. Let me clean up, and then I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say the price is, look, the price is like going over here, and let's say if there is a liquidity level, what is most probable? I'm gonna do like in blue, right? Let me go in the blue, and I'm gonna say, okay, this is 1, we're going up, and this is 2, we bouncing. If there is liquidity sitting right over here, and it's not like a small liquidity, it's like a serious liquidity sitting here, what is most likely, what is most probable? We break through or we bounce. We're talking about the probability right now. What is, when there's a liquidity, what is scenario is actually more likable? Quite often, scenario number 1 or scenario number 2. We bounce or we go through and break through. 1 or 2. We bounce?
I think 2 usually.
Okay. How about the others? Everybody think that way?
I say 2.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said 2.
Number 2? Okay. So, according to the other people that I was listening and watching, according to my experience and probably your experience as well, that you actually step in and saying, the most likely, more probable, by the way, most probable is the scenario number 2, not this. This is the less probable. So if somebody is trading the momentum scalping, right, then right now there's a less evidence that we can go through, unless, I don't want to confuse you, but the thing is that if we're seeing that this particular momentum up, taking this liquidity, that liquidity, and we're seeing that for a while we broke that, unless there is sitting something like clusters of liquidity, it's going to be probably broken as well. Although it may be broken not in a one way, but through the several attempts, and eventually we're going to get there. And we can bounce from here. But if the day is negative, negative what, gex, right? This is the negative gex. Then the price is going to just like go like freaking energizing banner from the bunny from that energizing batteries, okay? Going and going, going and going, going and going. So you need to see the pattern for today. If the price decide I'm gonna digest that liquidity line, okay, even it's in the red, right, in the yellow, red, whatever, the very thick, it's going and going and digesting it, melting it, then just to see for the pattern, not just take what I'm saying that this is most probable, we're gonna bounce it. Yes, but we didn't bounce here, we didn't bounce here. Although initial reaction, probably if we take really closer look, we're gonna find that the initial reaction was like this, and maybe a couple attempts were like, or maybe 3 attempts. The more attempts we're taking, the more likely we're gonna bounce on the next one. So if we take this one, if we take, like, let's say, okay, liquidity level, liquidity level, liquidity level, liquidity level. If we taking this at not even thinking, not reacting, then most likely we're gonna do the same about over here. But when we're seeing like this one is reacting several times and the same liquidity sitting over here, of course it's a common sense that probably we're gonna bounce, or we're probably gonna do more attempts over here. That's common sense, but this common sense actually helping us to filter out probability, and today I'm talking about that probability. Okay, so this is it. So any other ideas, guys, about the probability?
Well, you have to be really careful with that, because sometimes you can have a lot of liquidity up there, and when it's going to be a big trend day, they're going to jump in right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you just have to be able to read the order flow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So with the order flow, when we trading, we trading with a footprint, which is providing us, the delta level 1, right? And we can see on a footprint as well. We can see if there is like a, I am sure if I have the slide like that. If we have a trapped buyers, if we have a buyers or sellers that actually trying to persist in a one particular direction or not. Yeah, I need to find the footprint. I'm not sure if I'm gonna find it. But anyway, so I will show you that slide. But the footprint is really dramatically important. Personally, for me, I cannot trade it without the footprint, because on the footprint, I do see the imbalance levels, right? The imbalance levels, especially the stack imbalances. Stack imbalances gives you another high probability when there's like, let's say there's like, okay, sellers, okay, there's like a, over here, probably there will be, I bet you that there's like a stack imbalances sitting right here and produce the imbalance zone with the footprint, right? That zone for me is really important, because my price may come back to that zone and get a reaction. If I see that there's liquidity sitting on an imbalance zone, I'm like, there's another 10 to 25%. Let me take a look at this. So those cofactors increase our probability. If there's a no imbalance zone, that's a one scenario. I don't have anything in the air. There's a vacuum. Then I don't have anything to rely on. But if I have the stack imbalances sitting here, you see what the movement started over here? We're probably going to bounce over here and continue, right? So that is a high probability, kind of the cofactors specifically about probability talking. So now,
Oleg?
yes.
The phase number 3, exhaustion. How do we find that with the in the chart with the indicators and the heat map? Is any recommendation on that for that phase? Because that's probably the one of the most difficult ones to find.
Okay, good. Okay.
Exhaustion, yes.
Okay. Okay, let's go to this presentation. Look at this magician. This is me. Okay, let me find that exhaustion somewhere. It's a really good question. This is absorption, right? This is the exhaustion right over here, phase 3. Sometimes it takes, by the way, multiple exhaustion like this. You see that? The after exhaustion initiative was taking, but not really commitment on both sides. So
Yeah.
It took like a couple times to exhaust, maybe sometimes 3 times. But let me go to the exhaustion. Okay, now look at this. What do we see at the if the sellers were like persistent at the very upper side of that, right? Let me choose this as a yellow, maybe blue. Okay, maybe blue. Okay, cool. Now, as oh no, yellow. Okay, now look, the sellers were minus 21. There's a 66. Definitely, it looks like absorption, right? There should be a bubble right over here. The buyers trying to persist but not rewarded in that direction. So it is absorption. We're seeing high sells, right? So now at the very bottom of this tail, what do we see? Although there's a large delta sitting here, right? Large delta. But we're seeing that at the very teeny end of that, we can see the 6. So it's losing its momentum down, right? Okay, that's expected from the absorption by definition. But the next candle, look at that. We not only bounce it from here, absorb it here, we bounce it, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 15, maybe 20 ticks, right? That is a significant. Now, for this particular volatility and the session, now we get over here and then we're trying to what? Others are sellers, yeah, 14. Others are sellers, 12. Okay, others are sellers, 13. What the seller sitting at the very tippy top, tippy down, whatever you call it, at the tail? 2. Not too much. 1, not too much. 1 and 2, not too much. So this is exhaustion on the seller side. Huge amount, less amount, less amount, less amount. This is the exhaustion. That's a clear exhaustion. We look at the very end of the tail, sellers on the left side, sellers, these guys, it's only 1. It's only 2. This is nothing. So aggression that was previously sitting there is just like faded away. They lose interest or they lose power or they whatever the freaking reason. But at the same time, we start seeing in the blue, look at this guy, look at this guy. They're starting to show up, although they're not showing up dramatically good enough for us to rely, because it's still like not too much. And especially in this candle, it's not reliable candle to go up. No, because anybody with a 5 delta, the negative 5 sellers can actually kill like a lot of this and go in opposite direction. Yes. So now exhaustion is here, but it's not the signal to trade up. Did I explain it, exhaustion?
Yes. Is any of the signals at the bottom showing that or summarizing that for the exhaustion?
Yeah. Okay. Let's think both of us, you and I. Okay. What we're gonna see?
Hey, so, like, do you mind if I just say something?
Please.
So, for exhaustion, I don't think any of the indicators are going to tell. Like specifically, think about it this way, right? Exhaustion is there's no more selling going on, right? People are like you see the first candle, right? I think the way I see exhaustion is this, right? At the bottom of the candle, if you see a huge, and if you do volume profile, right? If you see like a huge volume node, right? HVA, right?
Yeah.
Or like if you see that, right? You know there's a lot of volume going, right? It could be buyers and sellers interacting, right? And buying, right? There's a lot of volume, right? If the next candle, right, you see like an LVN, right? A low volume node, that's exhaustion, right? There's no trade going on there, right? It means that buyers or sellers, they don't want to transact there any longer, right? So I think the only way you can't actually, you have to come, it's like a relativity thing, right? You're going to have to see one candle, right? And see a lot of volume. Then you're going to have to see something else. You're going to have to see what happens at that area again the next time it trades. Do you see a lot of volume? Do you see a high volume node, or do you see a low volume node the second time? That's the only way I distinguish like exhaustion, right? It's just like you're not going to see it in one candle. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait until the candle comes back down there and see how much volume transact, right? Or imagine it's at the low. Are sellers going in and basically putting as much volume as they did previously? If they're not doing that, they don't want to transact there any longer, right? If they don't want to transact there anymore, there's going to be a low volume there, right?
Yeah.
And price literally has a higher probability of going up, right? Because think about this way: the market is there to try basically facilitate trades, right? If there's no trade happening at that level, it's going to leave, right? It's going to go where there's going to be trade.
Exactly. Very good point. I really love that. My take on that, what I hear from you, at least as a conclusion, if there was a large volume, this is the volume profile, right? Volume profile. There's a large volume over here. But if we don't go lower than that, and there's like a low volume over here, definitely, right? Going to the nothing. If we don't go lower than this high volume, then we got just a stack somewhere over here, right, for a while and a few candles, or we're mingling here. That means this volume it's already the floor. It is the bottom line. So, and then when we're seeing some momentum over here, and at the candles, like I see that there's a low volume on each candle over here on sales. There's no sales practically sitting here that is significant and powerful. That means the sellers exhausted over here. Sellers exhausted, and this in this particular scenario. But it's a good idea to use the volume profile as well, and using mentality of the volume profile. I really enjoy that too. Okay. So this is the buyer's exhaustion. You see now those in the blue, why they in the blue? They especially highlighted on our footprint. You can have this template, by the way, I can share with anybody. Those colors are really, I tuned them really well in terms of like seeing the stacked imbalances. So this is the stacked imbalances sitting right over here. Okay, which is significantly more than these sales on the left side. So now this is the buyers sitting over here, and good amount of them. This is the delta, 110 in this section of the bar, 110 sitting over here. Fantastic. So now when I see that this is a significant commitment, but on the next bar, do I see buyers? Do I see buyers? Do I see buyers? Do I see buyers? No. You see, it's like, we're losing commitment or interest or whatever. Maybe there's a sitting like maybe there was a liquidity over there, because my slide for this was only regarding the exhaustion, not to show you the heat map, but maybe there was a heat map sitting right there, liquidity on a heat map. I show you only here, only footprint, because that is based on the footprint. Now, the question that you also ask, how about any other factors? The other factors definitely here, and guys, if I get away, please don't feel sorry to interrupt me at any time, okay? Now, but over here at the very bottom, what we're gonna see at the very bottom? We're gonna see delta, right? Now, let's take a drawing and we'll do like, okay, green. We're gonna see the delta. There will be delta over here, right? Probably something like that at the very bottom indicator, right? Delta level 1, right? Level 1 delta, right? Okay, because this is the delta level 1, and this is the delta bar, by the way, 110. Now, do we see the delta over here? Yeah, we see the delta over here, but together it's only 34, let's say, delta. With some others, it's maybe 40. Okay, now, instead of 110 over here, delta green, we're getting half of that. Okay, delta is going down, right? Green delta is going down. Now we start seeing the red delta. Now delta is flipping from the one color to another. Now we start seeing the red delta. Oops, too much, but it start to show up, right? Start to show up. Now we're seeing minus 31. It's like larger delta than the previous candle over here, right? And now over here, no, it's kind of like not too much seller delta, but we're seeing. So now this is the exhaustion we're talking about. With the exhaustion, most likely is we can see the delta will flip from the green at the beginning. It's going to fade away, and volume may go lower, by the way. As you can probably may see that volume over here is less than over here, right? Just by looking at that, not really calculating. But now we can see that the green delta is going down and the red delta is going up. Maybe not that dramatically yet, but probably on the next candle or something, because we're going down. If we're going down, probably somebody gonna step in. If they step in, it's gonna be larger red delta 1. So what pattern do we see here? We're seeing the delta flip, and this will be like maybe something intermediate delta, like almost like equal to maybe 0 or a small amount. With the same time, the volume is where it is. I'm gonna do it in what color in yellow, right? I'm gonna do it in yellow, and the volume was high over here, was probably less high over here, probably less high over here, and then it start to not yet on these candles, maybe 20, whatever, minus 39. Now it's actually we increasing the total volume. So the volume, when the price is going from one hands to other hands, those were like a buyers, and now it's going into the sellers. In between, we're gonna see less volume right over here, right? We're gonna see less volume, and it is really common. Actually, I show it on a few slides. We're gonna see less volume right over here, less volume, higher volume over here, higher volume over here, because that's the how, according to Vykov, in using his terminology, the market is changing their hands, okay, from one to another. But in between, we can experience low volume because those guys losing the interest to buy, and they're not really fighting. So it's good for us to wait for exhaustion and see that there's no fight anymore. There's some side, one or another, stop fighting. It's really good signal, although it's like fading away the strength and volume, but that is the signal. Because we can jump the gun faster or prior to the exhaustion, right? And the key is no, until we clearly seeing exhaustion, and we can't enter into the setup or enter into in this particular scenario into the short. It's too early to enter into the short, although we're seeing the exhaustion. It's one of the phases that is the classic, and it's good to see that. Although that's why we need to see the next phase or stage number 4. That will be kind of the condition for us where we can start considering, okay, the entry. Is that a good idea? Do anybody want to add something to that? I'm gonna clean up.
So I realize this is foot trend, but for anybody that's not familiar, with how to like spot this, like, because we also use all the other stuff, but it's when you go from left side to right side and you're at a peak, whether it's on the top or the bottom, you'll usually find that the numbers on all of your indicators showing up on your chart, in that picture, the visual, are high on the left and they're low on the right.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that will stand out on the right side is if they decide to spike it one more time,
yeah,
before it actually moves in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take and you set your indicators, you can actually identify the bear candles on a regular chart, and when you see that there is none of this stuff that we pay for, basically, to see, when you don't see these things that we're paying for, and all you're seeing is bear bars, there's a good chance that there is your flip point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. By the way, yes, that's a really good point. By the way, I love that. Let's take a look. If there is a usually the reversal happens like this, right? Now look that the bars over here, even without any order flow, it's probably going to be long bars. But in between, when there is the exhaustion happens and before the other side is taking over, or by the pressure from the up and pressure from the bottom, by whatever reasons, right here in the middle, there's a one, my favorite, and thank you for reminding me that instead of the long bars over here, long bars, I will see somewhere over here very short bars. Maybe one time, maybe short bars again, maybe short bars again, second time, maybe even very small. The short bars for me is usually the indicator, kind of like a visual indicator that the pressure is, maybe it's sitting right, by the way, over here. There's a triangle that the large bar, smaller, boom. It may happen 2 or 3 times. Sometimes it may happen only once over here, but it tells me or exhaustion or the pressure on both directions. Okay, and usually this small point, very teeny small bar, it is exactly the point where the price is springing one or opposite direction. Doesn't matter why, but that's maybe one side is lost its control, or maybe other side is completely exhausted, and boom, it takes whatever. Usually it visually happens that it's just like boom from the short size of the candles. So the size of the candles on the reversal, for me, it is like super important. I'm like, it is like one of the cofactors that I'm looking, and simply long candle or short candle, for me, it is itself is the cofactor that I heavily rely on. Okay, so thank you for that idea, because I almost forget about that. Okay, but if you take a look, by the way, coming back to the volume, look, there's like a high volume over here, right? High volume over here, high volume over here, and high volume over here, right? Now let's take a look what's between. There's a low volume, there's a lower volume, there's a lower volume. If we clean up, we can generally can say, okay, we can say, okay, in general, when we're looking, because there's like a 1, 2, 3 micro reversals, right? But when we take a look at the bigger picture, like on this very slide, and sometimes a good idea to look at the bigger picture, right? What we can say that in general, what we're getting is high, jeez. We're getting a high volume that goes to the lower volume, and then boom, it's increasing. Basically, that's the idea, if you want to get a clear perspective. So it was sellers, and now we're getting into the buyers. Of course, there's some struggle over here, and we need to get over this bubble, right? We need to get over. If we get over, then we can continue. But if we don't get over this particular bubble, then we're probably gonna like, who knows? So at any given time, why those details are really I'm looking to? Because footprint and the, let's say, whatever we're saying, with the bubbles or with the other ways, with the liquidity, whatever the zones, whatever we're saying, footprint, like this zone, look at this zone. The price is actually boom, reacted on this zone and boom, springing up pretty good, right? So now the thing is that I can see in a momentum what's going on. And this is my type of trading. I'm not a day trader. I'm trading inside of the day, and I'm trading what? I'm trading the situations like this, because I believe that I'm more in control on a short direction, and I rather take 8, 10 ticks rather than wait the whole big shebang to reverse. Okay, of course, you can do that as well, but this is more like a day trading if I'm waiting for the large kind of the diagram, like a Wyckoff over here to reverse. Okay, but I don't want to be dramatized too much, but you need to decide, are you a day trader or are you a scalper? Because this is what I do. People told me, you are a scalper. I'm like, what? I'm not using scalping instruments. They're like, you are scalping. because of the time frame that you use. This is the 30 seconds, and you trading the micro settings over here. Oh, okay. So now when somebody is trading 20 range, right? Like one of the guys out there, I'm not gonna name his name because that's another things that I want to put crap on. That people watching this person, how he trades, they will never trade it because he's talking about trading 20 range ticks, and it's not a scalping. He is a day trader, but he's teaching people not what he's actually believe himself, what he's doing on the chart. Okay, I don't want to confuse you, by the way. Anyway, but things is that's me. I'm over here. Of course, this is too small. This is too small for me. This is too small. That's why I wait one time, second time, third time, and this slide is probably to show you that there can be attempts, one attempt, second attempt, and probably on a third or a fourth attempt, this is more successful, where the buyers actually joining on the both sides, going in the same direction. So you see this spike. This is the delta. This is what? Oh, this is delta 1. Okay. I don't have the delta 2 indicator right over here, but it should be green. Anyway, this is what I find myself comfortable, okay, to trade. So when you're watching somebody else, first number one question, you need to identify, are they a day trader or they actually trading in the same kind of the environment and the same kind of the micro macro structure as you or not. That's you can align with them, okay? But most people don't ask that question because they're like seeing that this guy is like another champion. There's so many champions right now. Like there's a more. I mean, I have a less cucumbers, pickled cucumbers in my bottle in my refrigerator than the champions right now on the YouTube. There's so many. I mean, everybody's champion now. So I'm just like I'm not the champion, by the way. Probably never will be. And so if you watching the champions, I'm not the one. Okay, but I'm teasing, of course, on that. So just be careful. Anybody want to add anything over here? Because I have another one more scenario and we're gonna quit. Are you guys ready?
I think we're ready.
Quit. Let's finish it. Let's finish it. Okay. I actually show you another high probability, but I need to find that. Let me find this. Oh, by the way, this is like this is the kind of like you see that there's like a stack imbalances sitting here, right over here. No, excuse me, stack liquidity. Jeez, I need to take a break. There's liquidity sitting here, but above there's another thick. When you seeing the, I call it pancakes. Okay, that's my brand name. That's the way I'm talking about. This pancake was pierced a little bit, but it's this when you're seeing the layering like that, that gives you a higher chances, isn't it? When you have the pancakes one on top of another, very close liquidity, serious liquidity sitting here and right above, that's called the pancakes. So the price may like go through the one layer of the pancakes and then boom. I hope the restaurant, right? What's the restaurants with the pancakes? So anyway, it's a breakfast pancake. And boom, when you see the pancake, especially if you're seeing the clusters above, dude, that reaction will be given. So that's increased probability. But this is a good scenario. I already talked about that. But now, oh, by the way, on this very slide, by the way, let me show you that probability increase. Although my favorite is not over here. I don't want to confuse you, but I wanna find that. Let me see it because there is some favorite illustrations that I really enjoy, and it's like really obvious that you can see it absolutely clearly. Let me just second. Boom, boom. Okay, let me give you. Okay, no, okay, we can do something of that sort. Okay, although no, there's some other slides where like, okay, this one. Okay, now it's called the instant level 2 support. I'm gonna draw on this slide. When we have the situation that, let's say, the price is going somehow is going not directionally really like streamlined to the upper side, but then it's kind of like find a support. This is, by the way, this is the buyer's imbalance zone on a footprint. Found the support over here and going up. Do you see this candle? Maybe this is by chance that this candle is long, although you see that the price found the support with the red candle over here. Now, there is a few cofactors, layer it on top of each other. What the cofactors we can see here? Imbalance zone, and we're seeing liquidity is sitting right here. It's a red on top and green at the bottom, buyers on the level 2 green, and the sellers red from the top, right, on the level 2. That's the type, that's a kind of the color scheme on this heat map on this very slide. We're seeing the imbalance zone. Okay, this is the imbalance zone. And we're seeing the liquidity. This liquidity is immediate, right after this candle. Right, it goes right to this candle. Do you see that on the MBO DOM? Yes, you will see that live sticking out on the MBO DOM, right? Okay. This is the MBO DOM, blah, 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 whatever. And this will sticking out on the MBO DOM. You will see it on the MBO DOM, and you will see that liquidity historically there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever more candles sitting there. But it was sitting there from the very beginning of this candle. When this candle show up, you're seeing that sticking out liquidity on the MBO DOM, and you're seeing that even growing here with a more and more and more volume, slightly more or whatever, added to this liquidity sitting on this price level. This is highest probability, I mean, not highest, but one of the really incredible cofactors that, oops, what did I done? Okay, that you can see that that scenario, that very scenario right over here is, you can call it high probability. Although I'm not promising you 100% every time, right? I give no guarantee. Who can give guarantee? But this is really high probability scenario right in front of you. Okay, so I wanted to with previous tutorial and this tutorial, I want to separate a few slides and just like a highlight for you that this is a very high probability scenario where you go probably, I mean, you're charging as many contracts as you wanted to according to your risk management, right? That is the scenario. I love if you guys share with me some other high probability scenarios or maybe cofactors, because one of them is definitely everybody talking about that if you trade the key levels with the heat map, there's liquidity right there and maybe right here and maybe is going over here. The key levels definitely high probability. Don't forget about that. But that's one of the high probability, very obvious high probability. But what we're talking is that there's people sitting on a book map. They couldn't trade over here. They don't see freaking heat map over there because everything is with bubbles. They don't even clean that. Rarely I can see that somebody even have enough guts and time clean up the bubbles on a book map, heat map. I'm just like, but we can do that. Okay, when we clean it, we definitely take it advantage to see the other cofactors, whatever cofactors here, whatever cofactors here. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. High probability, not only at the very top and the very bottom, high and low, but in between, what other cofactors. Like if there's a reversal over here on this very like a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and now this is the 4, stage 4, number 4, and there is this very cofactor on this very slide, dude, I'm all in. I'm MBO. I'm charging 100%. Man, I may be risking more than my risk management. Okay. Although be careful with that. I'm not asking you to do that. This is educational content only. I'm simply get excited and make you excited that we can see those if you scenarios as we talk today that can give us higher probability than regular scenarios. Are you guys good about that? What do you say? I want to hear your feedback. Please go ahead. Did I kill everybody?
I hope not. So one of the things that traders come in and they like to do, which is really common, is they like to watch big numbers. But over time, they need to learn that the small numbers are just as important as the big numbers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so a lot of indicators you can't set your settings as many ways as you can on big numbers, but anytime you have the opportunity to do that, you should take that advantage and the opportunity and see what you actually learn from that.
Mm-hmm. Sir, you have an incredibly important and juicy comment. Why? Because do you guys remember that scenario I was talking week or two ago? And actually a week ago, I think. And what actually happens after that? Where do we see the low numbers, by the way? Over here. We can definitely see that volume profile was really thick over here, right? This is the volume profile, right? Right here, there was a volume profile like very thick. And then we're gonna get a volume profile very thick over here, right? Really thick and juicy for this section, right? Where there was a very low, maybe some bump over here, okay? But was the low, what were like a low nodes for this volume profile sitting right here? And absolute, I know that by heart because I was using foot volume profile right here. I know that was before this very range. It was very low numbers right over here. Absolutely. I actually took the volume profile, not volume profile, footprint imbalances of the chart by intent. But there was a imbalance sitting here because it was a very low volume node. And the same like over here, if you do this. Now, actually the volume, not the volume, but the chart actually went dramatically down, even lower than this. So it was like one time it was a really good setup, but the second time, no, the price was like, it was a negative delta, negative gex. It was just like falling like a rock. And it's something what happens in the Hormuz out there. It was like a horrible, whatever happens. And the price just like on a NQ just like slide it down. But you're absolutely true to mention that sometimes we need to see the big bubbles, and sometimes we need to see and mention very low numbers because big and low are our friends because the liquidity decide it is very low volume here, it is not profitable to go in this area, so I'm gonna divert and boom, go into the other situation where I can accumulate more. So they reversed over here because it was a very low node on the volume profile. I know it for absolutely sure. So that was a really good comment. Anything else? Anybody alive? Anybody comment?
Nobody else is talking, but
Well,
I don't know what everybody's using, but there's the other indicators you're gonna have to play with all these things and learn what all they do. It takes a lot of time to discover all of them.
Yeah.
In time you'll find out that ICE can walk you through the same thing, or whatever. There's several ways to see these things, but it's all a learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Keith. Anybody else want to say something?
Hey, Olive. I got a question. First of all, thank you very much for your efforts. I really love what you're doing. It's amazing. My question is in regards to an add-on that I use a lot when using Bookmap, and it's the marketplace. So my question is there any chance in the future, or do you guys have plans to implement something like that?
I'm not sure what the market pulse is. I have no idea. What are you talking about?
It's an add-on that it helps people to buy sounds, and also it's got a lot of um, different widgets to measure the volume, the 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 piece tape, the imbalance in the order book by showing those widgets with also sounds that they will play when the volume exceeds certain points. So it helped me a lot. I most of the time I'm using it for scalping. So in my scenario, it's something that I use a lot and I love it. But I'm now in love with your tool, and I will thinking in migrate to your ecosystem.
Send me a screenshot on the Discord. I am gonna take a look at that. Maybe that's something that I may interested to add, or maybe at least to consider. Or maybe I can find the similar features on what we already have. I don't know. Just send me screenshots and in a private DM, personal message, direct message on the Discord if possible. Then yeah, that'd be nice. Because otherwise it's in the air. Otherwise I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, because there's a bunch of good stuff out there, by the way. Not only best order flow, there's a bunch of other good stuff, and depending what you're used to. If you're used to for a certain settings, certain indicators, you feel that it is like really making sense for you type of the personality, type of the trader, the whole things, the system that you're trading, models and all of that, then man, don't stop, because if something work in your hands, continue, keep pushing on that button. Okay, maybe you don't even need the order flow indicators. That can be the case, who knows. But yeah, if something works, keep doing that. My goal with this presentation is simply talk about the order flow, and no matter what indicators you trade from other manufacturer or from the best order flow, you grab the concept about 4 stages of the order flow, and you kind of get oriented. I mean, everybody, including me, oriented. What is another cofactor, and what role it can play. And when you put this together, we can like, the more cofactors, the better, probably. Although you don't need the hundreds of them, you select the most important for you. But in my main concept of trading as a pullbacks, not the concept, but the strategy or the model, then I love to see, and it's, by the way, it's all automatically. My eyes are seeing that without me even really like thinking about those factors. I see at least 6 to maybe more cofactors, and that gives me kind of like a confidence. If I do something wrong, it's not because I'm just like doing lottery in a casino kind of style trading. Okay, I know that if right now it doesn't work with this particular entries, it will work, because that's I don't want to lie to myself. If I follow my rules, then boom, I'm on top of the horse. Even if my account is going down, I know it will dive out of that situation. I will be on top again. So whatever works for you, incredibly good, and see what factors make sense for you. But now the key is, point of me talking too much is saying, now you can look at this. Here's what you need to see. Here's what you can see. Oh, maybe I forget something, and Keith is adding something. Aha, there's the other cofactor. At least now you separated from all big charts different cofactors or factors that if you track that factor and you align with another one or two, that makes sense for you to improve the system that you're already trading. So that's the point of this education. And of course, being fluent with the indicators and able to tune them, like some of you ask, hey, could you show me the how to make sense out of tuning the heat maps? Absolutely. Okay, because I'm tuning my indicators if I'm streamlining the whole day, and most of the time I streamline 24/7, right? I'm tuning my indicators on the NQ most likely 3 to 4 times, because sometimes even in a one session volatility may just spike or go slower. Then I'm tuning it, and when I tune it, I know I'm not losing my time. Why? Because I'm getting crisper picture. The clearer picture I'm getting for the way I'm trading on what particular, zooming in or zooming out, and then the chart that means that gives me like less clutter and more clarity. Okay, so this is definitely very small time frame, but anyway, so when it makes sense for me, that's what I'm getting the signals from the charts. That's why tuning them is super important, and we spend humongous amount of time to give you easier on a new version of the heat map. Okay, I am done. Anybody want to conclude anything? That's it.
No. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Guys,
Hey,
I totally love your comments. Absolutely, and you know that. Okay, see you next Monday.
Okay.
Bye bye.